We've got some new video for you. This is Hillary Clinton sitting with one of the least impressive people in American media, Kara Swisher, at a Q&A in New York last Friday. Watch this. Clinton makes a small, racially tinged joke, for real.
What do you think of Cory Booker's, and you didn't comment on him, and you feel free?
Oh, I adore him.
What do you think about him saying kicked him in the shins, essentially, start to get to that kind of political?
Well, that was Eric Holder.
Yeah, Eric Holder,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know they all look alike.
Well, we disagree with Hillary on just about everything, obviously, but in this case, we're willing to give her the benefit of the doubt. She seemed like she was just making a joke. We don't assume that she's exposing some kind of latent racism. We're not here to publicly shame her, not over that anyway. Lots of other things you could shame her over. The question is, though, would Hillary and any of the people who support Hillary extend that same benefit of the doubt, that same courtesy to you? Author and columnist Mark Steyn has some ideas on that question, and he joins us tonight. Mark, do you think if you said something like that, Hillary Clinton would say, you know, Mark Steyn, like, I don't know his heart. You know, I'm willing to judge him on the case he makes. I'm going to let, you know, he's probably just kidding. Do you think she'd say that?
No, and she wouldn't say it about if you had made that remark either. Nevertheless, I'm inclined to agree with you that there are 40,000 reasons to hound Hillary Clinton out of public life.
Yeah.
But this isn't one of them. And I go back to what Victor Davis Hanson said at the top of the show when he used that line, the cure is worse than the disease. The cure is worse than the disease, Head. A society that destroys people over one remark like this is actually a very ugly and evil society, whatever wrongs it might think it's trying to right. Hillary here, by the way, I'll say something else too. Hillary is not the most sophisticated kind of communicator.
No.
Here, she is someone who can tell Cory Booker from Eric Holder. One's got a mustache, one has no hair. It's not difficult. So she's not actually using the line that all black people look alike to her. She's actually ironically teasing about an old cliche that she is not using for real. And actually, that kind of ironic sense has all but been obliterated from public life now, where if you say something that is sly and ironic like that, you're assumed to mean it for real, and you have to be hounded from public life.
And what I guess gets me is, look, as someone who said a lot of dumb things, and I'm sure will in the future, I hope that I always have a chance to explain what I meant. And it seems that nobody has the right to have an apology taken seriously or an explanation considered seriously. It's, we caught you, it's over. I don't know who makes these rules.
Well, one of the consequences of that is that everybody then winds up going around tiptoeing on eggshells, and you can never tiptoe enough. Steve Martin made made a lasagna joke. He tweets 1,000 times, and he thinks, oh, this tweet's a bit edgy, this one's a bit provocative. He had no idea the lasagna joke was going to have people urging him on Twitter to just go and kill himself, or to finish him, or to obliterate his career. And we can't have that. At a certain point, we have to let Hillary survive her, you know, or they all look alike joke, because the price of living in a world where one little remark absolutely destroys you, that is, the cure is worse than the disease.
I know. And I wonder if all these people encouraging the mob on these cable channels ever think about the country they're creating. All right, take a look very quickly at this horrifying image. This is CNN's Lester Holt, of course, of NBC, dressed up as Susan Boyle, the singer. He has changed his appearance in a way that is now very controversial. He wore that costume for a Halloween episode of The Today Show. Megyn Kelly, of course, was just fired for suggesting that it wasn't always bad to dress up as a member of an opposite race. Look, I want to be clear. I'm not drawing, I don't think there's an equivalence between the two. There's a long history of one and not of the other. But I also wonder, I don't think there are like 5 people in America who'd be deeply offended by what Lester Holt did. I'm not offended by it. Maybe, though, if you dress like that, you should be slightly less self-righteous in the face of other people's transgressions. I guess that's the point I would make.
I think there's an element of Susan Boyle-phobia in that whiteface, which is offensive to northern English women of a certain age. But the fact is, again, it's not about anything real. There is no, the minstrel tradition, the blackface tradition in America is dead as a doornail. Bing Crosby, 1942, he wore blackface for an Abraham Lincoln number in Holiday Inn. 10 years later, when he made the film White Christmas, he did a minstrel number in Whiteface. Somewhere between 1942 and 1952, an entire tradition no longer became respectable. And again, the cure is worse than the disease.
Yeah.
I was down in Australia when I believe a Kanye West fan, she went to a party. He was her favorite celebrity, so she went to a party dressed as Kanye West. She's a nobody. She's 19, 22 years old. She's at the start of her life, and the entire Australian media wanted to destroy her. This is actually evil. I would like Lester Holt to do the news as Susan Boyle for a week. We should all get over this stuff.
I know. Let people apologize. If there's no forgiveness, then you can't have a functioning society. Mark, thank you very much,
No, that's
as always.
right. That's true. Thanks a lot, Tucker.
Well, one of the Mueller investigation's top cooperating witnesses now says he doesn't want to cooperate. He says he was framed. He'd like to get out of the plea deal he made with the government. George Papadopoulos is that man, and he joins us